This movement will not be silenced. You're listening to The Charlie Kirk Show.
All right, welcome back to The Charlie Kirk Show. Jack Posobiec, I've got one issue with this Atlantic story. I mean, can I actually say something
Just
serious?
one.
I have one issue. They didn't mention Unhumans, New York Times bestseller. So there you go.
So they mention it, but they mention it, and they mention that Vice President Vance had given us the top blurb of it before he had become vice president, even before the nomination, and they don't mention New York Times bestseller. How are you going to mention it and not say New York Times bestseller?
It's like a black eye. It's a black eye on the liberal soul. So here's what I will say, and in all seriousness, I am worried, and we got some emails about this in the break. That they are trying to paint a target on your back, and so
100%.
If you're in the audience,
they could have at least taken the time to put the crosshairs like photoshopped on my face.
Exactly. So I want everybody in the audience to pray against the schemes of darkness and pray for Jack's safety.
Thank you.
And that you would just keep him in your prayers, and keep all of us at TPUSA, and by the way, the Frontlines team that is doing this brave investigation, the Cho Show, Jonathan Cho, Savannah Hernandez, Katie Davis Court. So please keep them in your prayers as well. We're going to welcome back radio in just a second. All right, welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show. Radio stations across the country. Andrew Kolvet here, executive producer of this fine show, where we pay tribute to the legacy and the enduring and immortal legacy of Charlie Kirk. We do that with his friends and the people that knew him best. And, of course, that's the team that's in this building that helped produce this show every day. And Jack Posobiec, who is remote, not in the studio, but he's holding it down with us here, and we thank him for that. So, Jack, I'm looking at a list of stories here that I want to get to with you. So we got to move here because I want to get to all of them. We got the Pentagon media credential list. I think you're important for that, just from a media perspective. We got this NBA.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, the NBA sports betting scandal that just happened this morning with the FBI arrested like 34 people, and there's mafia ties
up there.
Goodell's back in Bad Bunny. Jen Psaki's coming after Usha and JD Vance. There's a CDL story, another CDL story out of California. Another guy named isn't it Patel? Isn't that his last name? Let me just double check on that.
I think that's the FBI director.
Well, exactly. Name released. It's another illegal alien from India. Yeah, and this is Singh, Singh, S-I-N-G-H.
Okay, so Singh,
I was like, that doesn't sound right. Patel's because the FBI thing this morning. So
you've got all your stories are blurring together.
They're blurring together. So Jack, tell us about this Pentagon thing. The way I understand it is that the Pentagon, and this is of course, our good friend Pete Hegseth, who Charlie fought real hard to get confirmed, and they basically put out new press guidelines saying that you cannot ask members, staff, Pentagon officials to go off the record, and essentially everybody in the press corps that covers the Pentagon walked out, except for groups like TPUSA, the National Pulse. Tell us about this story give us your media perspective on this.
Yeah, so when I was reached out to about the new Pentagon press corps by the Department of War and their press office, I jumped at the chance. I mean, why wouldn't I want Human Events and our entire team from there and the Post-Millennial to get in on the stories, to embed with as new media for any of these things, like I just did with the Secretary of War as well as the President down to the Navy 250th, and I had the opportunity to go to the Marine Corps 250th. It didn't work out time-wise with the Vice President Vance, and so you want to be able to do that coverage. Now, the media, of course, prior to this administration, they were given free reign of the Pentagon. They were allowed to walk around the halls. They were allowed, access like just a complete inordinate. Honestly, I can understand from the Pentagon's perspective, perhaps inappropriate level of access, because what have they been dealing with? Leaks. They've been dealing with very bad political leaks, the likes of which have turned into impeachments, like the one Eric Charamella that started with a guy on the National Security Council leaking to the leaking to the press, through specifically David Ignatius and the Washington Post, and then you saw the General Flynn case started with leaks. So they've been dealing with all of these leaks over the years. So what they're trying to do is fight those leaks. Look, the press is the press. The press has the First Amendment, and we at Human Events and the Post Millennial are certainly going to exercise our First Amendment rights. No one ever tells us what to write. No one ever tells me what to say, and I would honestly bristle if anyone did, and they know that's not how this game works. But at the same time, we're going to tell what we hear and what we find out publicly and honestly, and we are not going to put any spin on it. And people can go and look at my record all the way through the strikes in Iran or the Israel conflict with Hamas and Gaza, and we covered it here with Charlie every single day when all of that was going on. We in fact did a massive live stream about it, telling everybody what was going to happen and what our analysis was. So we are going to stick to that. And if the mainstream media is upset that the Pentagon is actually taking these leaks seriously, then I think they kind of seem to have forgotten what their actual role is.
Yeah, I mean, I have worked in press and media from a PR perspective. I did all of Charlie's crisis PR and booked him on all the media hits.
What crisis? Charlie never had anything.
Handled profiles, etc. And I will tell you that, there are good, kind people in the press corps that are at the national level, the legacy media level. And there are a pit of vipers that will make up the remainder. And you have to understand this is the most entitled, pretentious, I would say, career that one might choose, or just the disposition of those people that tend to occupy that career in that profession. And yeah, to your point, it doesn't seem like, listen, you can work outside of the halls of the Pentagon and still ask for something on background or off the record. They're just saying, like, while you're in this building, you cannot do that, and that's the new rule. I don't see what the big deal is. Post Millennial, Human Events, the National Pulse, Gateway Pundit. It's going to be a whole new day at the Pentagon, and if the press is just going to opt out, don't be surprised when you don't get the stories. More with Jack
Posobiec.
Posobiec.
And replace the press pool.
Exactly. We are the media now. We'll be right back.